I'm always bullish on Bitcoin. We hold more than 100,000 Bitcoin overall with Tether, and we are believers in Bitcoin as the ultimate store of value. Bitcoin is the only currency that, instead of being governed by humans, is governed by math. That is the only certainty that we have in the universe. Tether market cap grew $7 billion, around $7 billion. We are approaching 120 billion in US treasuries exposure, direct plus indirect. That is the all-time high. Our user base grew 46 million, so it's 13% increase on the total user base just in Q1 2025. I think that is an incredible number. When it comes to profitability, our operating profits are 1 billion for the quarter. Euro as a currency is not competitor to the US dollar, but not even gold. People outside Europe don't care about the euro.
Hello guys, so we are now in Dubai during Token2049, and here with you Anna Tutova, CEO of Coins Telegram, and our returning guest Paolo Ardoino, CEO Tether and bitfinex. And Tether, as you know, is the most profitable company in the crypto space with over 400 million users, and as well the number 7th in terms of holders of US treasuries. And today they're revealing as well the attestation for the Q1, and great to have you again here, Paolo.
Thank you for having me, Anna.
So we are now back, you're now back here in Dubai, so how is the energy for you here?
Well, the energy here is always great. I mean, I think this is one of the biggest events in the space. It's an opportunity to meet everyone. I had 2 panels already. I've had so many business meetings. So everyone is very positive. It's a bit hot around, but you know, likely we are staying in the buildings with air conditioning. But no, jokes aside, it's refreshing to see again the energy from the crypto markets and the crypto industry that in a certain way was a bit lost. For my feelings, was a bit lost last year, in the last year and a half at least. So with the market that is growing, with the new administration in the United States that has shown high positivity towards the crypto industry, now I think everyone feels reinvigorated towards crypto, and this is a great sign.
Yeah, everything is changing. And can you tell us well more about your activities here in the Middle East? I know in February you did the partnership with Really, real estate tech platform. So can you tell more about this, and maybe you have some other partners here?
Well, we are looking at different opportunities here. We announced last year about our interest to explore UAE dirham-based stablecoin. At the same time, we have made a few announcements of our collaboration with regulators here for USDT and for the usage of USDT in the region. We are discussing and partnering with different companies from the real estate world, on the trade finance world, and just fintech in general, right? So I believe that Dubai and Abu Dhabi are the land of opportunities when it comes to the digital asset industry. Being European is a bit sad, because I think Europe should have been the country and the place, well, the federation that should have taken the lead on digital assets. And even UK, that had the biggest opportunity out there, after becoming again an independent country in 2016, they could have led and paved the way. And neither UK or Europe actually had the guts to understand, and intelligence to, and the long-term vision to understand the importance of the digital assets industry. And now every single company is now looking at going back to the US or coming here. So a big kudos to the local administration here and the government that really decided to believe in this technology and what can be created out of this technology.
Yeah, that's true. And talking about the announcement of Tether dirham and your plans here, so such currency should be regulated by the central bank, and actually only the currencies issued by the banks which are regulated by central bank can be issued. So are you trying to get the approval from central bank here, or like what's happening with it? What's the progress?
We are in discussions, and there is of course a process of a dialogue and sharing information and providing a lot of documentation, right? So we are aware of the importance of such a step for an important country like the UAE. So we understand it takes time because regulators need to understand everything and be completely comfortable with everything. So one step at a time.
So is there a timeline when you may get this approval?
We didn't set a timeline for ourselves. We think that it's important that there is a healthy process that will make the regulator comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And today you are releasing your Q1 attestation. So can you tell more about it?
It's a great quarter again. Although there was more volatility in the markets, Tether market cap grew $7 billion, around $7 billion. We are approaching 120 billion in US treasuries exposure, direct plus indirect. That is the whole-time high. Our user base grew 46 million, so it's 13% increase on the total user base just in Q1 2025. I think that is an incredible number. When it comes to profitability, our operating profits are 1 billion for the quarter. We are going to release all the other important metrics in the attestation, the specifics. But the company is, as always, very profitable. We are the majority of the profits are coming from the interest rates on the US treasuries.
Yeah, that is great. And great despite the volatility on the market. And recently you as well announced the launch of 21 and yes. With Cantor Equity Partners and as well with jackmallers, founder of Strike and SoftBank. And you plan to launch a new vehicle with 42,000 Bitcoins to provide the exposure to Bitcoin for the equity for the stockholders. So can you tell more about this?
Yes, so I think that 21 is a very unique company. There is a star alignment there. There is Tether and SoftBank. SoftBank is the first time that with this 21 investment does anything meaningful in the Bitcoin space. So we are very proud to have been the company that was able to bring SoftBank, such a behemoth of investments to the table. Cantor has been a great partner when it comes to also access to institutional markets. And the CEO of this company is jackmallers. That is, I think, the best voice in the Bitcoin industry. Is the person, very young but very intelligent, able to express in details the importance of Bitcoin to the broader world. So 21 as a company for us is just not, it's just not going to be 21 for us is not going to be just a public company, but is going to be also an effort to educate everyone on the importance of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and as well, before I saw some people tweeting about Tether, that Tether is some kind of even not really a stablecoin company, it's Bitcoin company, because you already hold quite a lot of Bitcoin yes. On the Tether side.
We hold more than 100,000 Bitcoin overall with Tether, and we are believers in Bitcoin as the ultimate store of value.
And with 21, it will be a different model from MicroStrategy, when MicroStrategy just buys Bitcoin and holds it, but you plan to provide as well lending and some other instruments. So can you tell more about this?
It will be very vanilla at the beginning. We want to make it very conservative and have a proper risk management. We believe that it's important to create a company that is sustainable even in very, very highly volatile markets. We know how in the past Bitcoin was used to 80% drawdown, so it's the risk management will be done very carefully.
Yeah, and as well for this 21 million, you're pouring your own capital from the Tether
and bitfinex. We are providing some bootstrap capital from Tether and bitfinex. Yeah.
And SoftBank as well committing, and Cantor too. But as well, you plan to raise from the investors. So can you tell like which sum do you plan to raise?
Well, it's an ongoing process, right? Similar to MicroStrategy, there are convertibles and equity offering depending on the market conditions. So that's going to be the strategy. Will be refined over time, but we will start with a very vanilla strategy in this moment.
So it will be like ongoing raising for the 21.
Yes, potentially yes.
And as well, do you, like later, do you plan to provide the yield on Bitcoin for the investors?
We didn't discuss it in depth yet. So again, in this moment is just a very simple play where the Bitcoin, the attempt is maximizing Bitcoin per share. We have this new cool concept called BPS, Bitcoin per share, and that's basically the focus of the company.
And why will it be better than other companies? Why is it better than MicroStrategy, or why is it better than, for example, for somebody to invest into Bitcoin ETFs?
I think that there are multiple, I mean, first of all, does not have to be better than necessarily MicroStrategy, but has to be as good as and provide an alternative, for example, with a slightly different strategy or a very different strategy with maybe a more conservative strategy. I mean, it's important to create a company that has a brand and recognition as a company that is actually trying to push not only itself as 21, but other companies in Wall Street and the New York Stock Exchange and other markets to start looking at Bitcoin treasury. And I think jackmallers is the perfect person to spearhead that discussion and that education. Bitcoin ETFs are also another approach. Keep in mind that not everyone can buy Bitcoin ETFs still, and so that is one of the reasons why MicroStrategy was successful at the beginning.
Yeah, and can you tell as well about your plans for the US? So you recently visited US already 2 times, and you tweeted that you may issue a separate stablecoin for the US market by the end of this year, when there will be some clear stablecoin regulations. So can you share more on that?
Yes, I think that there is an opportunity in the US. Of course, the regulations will need to be finalized, but we believe that there is an opportunity to create a US-based stablecoin that has a different value proposition of our international stablecoin. Our international stablecoin is made for emerging markets and developing countries. That is its strength. But I think that a US stablecoin would need to look at being a product for payments and banking and more institutional professional rails.
And do you think that US government will be friendly to Tether? Because you shared before that some kind of like politicians and as well other your competitors wants to get you out from that market, and as well the same as from European market too.
We are seeing the US very interested to hear our story and look at the benefits that we're bringing to the US. So far has been very positive, our engagement.
That's great. And how do you see the policy of Trump currently towards crypto, and as well to the influence on the market with all these tariff games, tariff wars?
So I think that the administration in the US is doing a very good job when it comes to digital assets and crypto policies. It's a 180 degrees shift from the previous administration. Look at the SEC dropping all the charges against most of the companies attacked. So it proves that they are actually interested to make the US the dominant country for digital assets. But in general, we are living a very uncertain time with tariffs and all that. So tariffs could be tricky and could push other governments to start looking more inwards to their own country and their neighbors rather than looking at the US as the main trading partner. So it's evolving, dynamic, and very complex to predict the exact outcome.
And as well, with all this uncertainty, your other product, Tether Gold, became pretty popular, and you released as well your other attestation for the Tether Gold, for the gold holdings of over 7.7 tons in Switzerland. So can you tell more about this? And do you still see the big interest in Tether Gold?
Yeah, I believe Tether Gold is going to be a very important product as an alternative to dollar-based stablecoins. If you especially think about India, Turkey, Nigeria, Africa in general, and also Central South America, the population living in these countries have gold very rooted in their families for thousands of years. And so, especially with the tariffs and the uncertainty and unhappiness that the tariffs are creating outside the US, that there could be a push towards an alternative to the dollar, and the gold-backed stablecoin, I believe, is the best option. Keep in mind that Tether Gold is already 7 times bigger than the biggest euro-based stablecoin, and its Tether Gold XOT is already $830 million or market cap, give or take, and the biggest euro stablecoin is 150 million euros. So it proves that euro as a currency is not competitor to the US dollar, but not even gold. People outside Europe don't care about the euro. They will never accept the euro for any business thing, and so, but they would love to have either the dollar or gold.
Do you see as well, for example, central banks referring to it as a gold in the future, in a few years maybe?
Central banks, I believe that central banks, especially the BRICS country central banks, are going to issue their gold-backed stablecoin. They said it in the past. I think the BRICS countries will. If you see the price of gold growing up 2 times in the last 2 years, is because central banks of the BRICS countries are buying large quantities of gold, and because they are preparing to issue a digital currency backed by gold.
And as well, what are your expectations from the market this year?
I'm always bullish on Bitcoin.
So what's your price prediction for Bitcoin by the end of this year?
No financial advice, but I would imagine around 180K.
And what's your projection for the market cap of Tether by the end of this year?
I would project around 200, realistically 250, between 200 and 250 realistically.
When 1 trillion?
Good question. Maybe 2030. Depends on how the world goes. I mean, the success of USDT is directly proportional to the insuccess of different nation monetary policies.
And as well, with Tether, you actively invest into different companies from completely different sectors, not only crypto, but as well AI, agriculture, even football club, Juventus. So can you tell more about this? And you as well raised your equity stake in Juventus. So what led you to such decision, and how will it help you to promote crypto and Tether?
So we have a portfolio in this moment of our company that is around $20 billion, and we decide that is outside the reserves of Tether. And so those $20 billion are for investments. And we decided to have a proper risk managed approach to the investments. So a portion of these profits are invested in stable long-term companies. To me, Adecoagro, that is a land company and agricultural company, is long-term stable investment. Then we have another portion of the investments are invested in amplifying our digital and physical distribution network for the US dollar and Tether Gold. For example, we are building kiosks in Africa that deal with the USDT, plus bodegas in Central South America and all that, right? So we have an infrastructure expansion play with part of the profits. And the third one is more like investments on new technologies like artificial intelligence and biotech and similar, right? Energy development and all that, right? So we have these 3 buckets. And we are allocating funds based on a bit more funds on the stability and long-term growth than medium-sized investment to amplifying the distribution network of Tether, and then the remainder for more futuristic investments.
And what are your profit targets this year for Tether?
Very much depends on multiple factors, price of, for example, Bitcoin and gold, and also interest rates. I wouldn't be surprised if we would beat last year profitability.
Yeah, that will be definitely great. And as well, can you share some other plans for this year for Tether?
We are going to release many products, from consumer apps to other platforms. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and as well, can you explain, like, to your grandma what you do? How would you explain?
Very difficult. I think that well, the base product of Tether, of our company, is just a digital dollar.
Okay, great. And on the side of Bitcoin, how would you explain Bitcoin then?
Bitcoin is the only currency that, instead of being governed by humans, is governed by math. That is the only certainty that we have in the universe.
Yeah, that's the exact description. Thank you for interesting conversation.
Thank you for having me again. It's always a pleasure.